I'm Peter Bois, nationally touring magician.
And I'm Gus Davis, nationally touring game show host.
We don't get regular Saturday nights because we are out performing on the weekends.
That's why Mondays are so special to us. They are our Saturdays.
We will help you get through your Monday by joining us on our Saturday.
Monday is the new Saturday.
Welcome to Monday Club.
Hit it!
Welcome to Monday Club! Hello, Monday Club land. Welcome to another episode 55 of Monday Club. Thank you for being here. In this week's episode, we cheers to an accountant living his NHL dreams. We will be giving away something, another of Nate's book, so stay tuned and listen up for that. Gus saves someone's life at the Home Depot. Dilly Dilly to the Masters Golf Tournament, and I encounter a snorer at the airport, and we teach you some stuff. Stick around, it's going to be a killer episode of Monday Club.
Dilly Dilly!
Dilly Dilly! I cannot wait to talk about that.
Oh my goodness, me neither, man. Hey, Monday Club and Mr. Pete Bois, how are you doing, sir?
I am good, very good. How are you?
I'm pretty damn good. I am almost finished with my taxes, so I've got that weird, all I see is numbers everywhere I look right now. So I'm so glad it's Monday Club time because I'm going to drink those numbers away.
You also have a look in your eye that says, if you talk to me about anything that I don't want you to talk about, I will kill you.
Oh my God. I went off on I had a telemarketer call me, and they did it sneaky. They called from a number that was very close to a number that I recognized. And so I picked up and I was ready to try to be friendly, and they interrupted a long sheet of numbers that I was crunching, and I just went off on them. So whoever that was, I apologize, but you caught me during taxes.
Are you apologizing to a robot?
No, they weren't a robot. They were a real person with real feelings, but I treated them like a robot.
Oh, that's so sad. Yeah. On that note,
yeah.
let's drink and talk some shit about some funny shit on the internet.
All right, sounds good, man. All right, so you start this one because you found it.
Yes, I found this article is all over everywhere a few days ago. We are cheersing this week. Our Monday Club cheers goes to this 36-year-old accountant who got to play in the NHL for almost a whole period. And this is crazy. I never knew this about hockey, but apparently so you have your goalie, right? And then each team has your backup goalie. But the home team is responsible for obtaining another goalie, right?
A backup goalie.
A backup goalie that could play for either team. They don't, he's not set for one team or another. So if two goalies go down for a team, they bring this guy literally from the stands. I mean, he gets free tickets. He probably gets free food. I mean, they take care of him. And he's a guy who plays probably, men's league hockey. Used to play D3 in college or something like that.
Right.
And that's exactly what happened. The first guy went down. I think he went down in practice, but then the second guy goes down in the backup goalie plays almost the whole game, goes down at the very beginning of the third period, and they have to call this guy in to suit up to play for the Chicago Blackhawks. And
so he didn't even have his own stuff, right? I mean, they gave him a jersey, but he didn't have a helmet or any of the they had to just give him all that stuff for him to walk on to the field or to the ice.
Yeah. They literally had to. Probably they paused the game and he went back there and suited up.
They suited him up and said, "Good luck, rookie." Yeah.
And he's like, "Shit, I shouldn't have had that fourth beer." And here's the thing. All right, his name's Scott Foster, and he did play Western Michigan University until 2005.
Right.
Yeah. So he's not
like a
slouch.
nobody from the stands. He's been on the ice before, and I was reading a little bit more into this article. He plays on a very elite, albeit amateur team. So it's not like he's never played before, but he certainly isn't on the roster of the of the NHL team. And yeah, what a strange series of events to happen where not one but two of the goalies go down before the end of the game, and they just call him up and say, "All right, man, you're you're jumping in for a pro game."
Yeah, and here's the kicker. He not only did he get to live his dream playing in an NHL game, he went 7 for 7. He stopped 7 shots on goal, all 7 shots in that period, and basically he had a shutout for himself that game, and he got... if you watch the video, follow the link in the show notes, and you'll see a short video, and all the Blackhawks are, going nuts over him at the end of the game,
Oh yeah, he got a player of the game for he got to take home the championship belt, and he is everyone's hero. He's the everyman hero for that team forever and all time.
Yeah, talk about the ultimate Trump water cooler conversation, right?
Oh, right.
Some guy
hey,
comes
what did
up,
you do this weekend?
Man,
I walked on and played a pro NHL game. Shut it out. It was good.
Oh, well, my kid lost a tooth.
Dude,
he wins.
With this story in mind, because clearly this guy had the game of his life. As a walk-on, literally out of the stands. They pull him out of one of the observation boxes. They're like, "All right, we're gonna need you to suit up." But have you ever had a moment like that where you just everything just kind of aligned and you just nailed it?
I would have to say it would be at our past guest CJ Johnson's epic karaoke / wedding in November, when I was called upon by the Eric Diddleman to sing Hakuna Matata karaoke with him. I think I nailed it, and we crushed it out of the park, and I was not expecting it. So yes, karaoke when I'm called upon and you buy me drinks, I am in.
You're a walk-on karaoke master,
yeah.
Huh? No, that's awesome. That's a good story.
I'm not a good singer, but I always bring heart and excitement to the stage.
That's all you have to do for karaoke. For karaoke, if you just walk on with heart and enthusiasm, that's 90% of the battle. You hit a couple notes and then let everybody else sing along with you. You've got it nailed.
Yeah. How about you? You ever have to step up to the plate and do something you weren't ready for?
Answer this question. No, actually, I do have one, man. So I was out camping with a group of friends, and we went out in the middle of nowhere, and we were in Big Bend National Park, and there's signs all over the place warning you of bears. Okay, and these guys are big, outdoorsy guys, and so one of them brought like a giant hatchet that he carried around with him. Another one brought like a 22, and just these are dudes, right? Outdoorsy types.
22 is going to help you in a bear attack.
Right, it's not, but it might scare it away.
Yeah.
The sound might scare it away.
Might as well bring a cap gun.
So I brought some throwing knives. Okay,
that's going to help you in a bear attack too.
Yeah. I brought some throwing knives, and they were all making fun of me. They were like, we're sitting around at a picnic table, and they're making fun of me, and they're like, "What do you know how to do throwing knives?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm a badass at throwing knives." And they're like, "Yeah, whatever, man." So I pulled one out, and I looked, and I said, "Do you see that tree? This tree was like, I don't know, man, without exaggerating, 30 to 40 yards away. It was super, super far away. And it had a knot hole in it, like a big, like, dead space on it. And I just took it, and from a seated position, I just chunked that knife as hard as I could. And I kid you not, I bullseyed that tree, like right in the dead center of that hole. And everyone was like, damn! like jump back. And I was like, yeah, see, I got you guys. Don't worry, I'll protect you, you know? And meanwhile, I could never do that again if I freaking tried, like ever.
So you played it
never
cool.
Gonna happen.
Inside you're jumping like you won $1 million, and outside
No, I did. I played it cool, man.
Yeah.
I was like, I told you I got this. How hard could it be?
That's
You just
awesome.
aim at the middle.
That's exactly what Scott Foster did too. You could see him when all the NHL players are coming over to congratulate him. He was just like, "Hey, yeah, thanks."
Yeah, thanks.
Ain't no thing, you know. I crunch numbers during the day. I'm an NHL star at night.
Anytime, bros.
Yeah.
Anytime.
So cheers to you, Scott Foster, 36-year-old accountant who got to play in the NHL and accomplish a dream goal of his, I'm sure. So cheers to you.
Cheers, Scott.
And to you for bullseyeing a frickin' throwing Nice.
Yeah, that was one of. Thank you, man. That was definitely on my highlight reel. I'd like to revisit that again.
This week I am drinking. Didn't have much time to make anything too interesting. I've been on the road, but I bought another 6-pack of the Funky Bow So Fokin Hot. That's hard to say. So Fokin without actually saying the swear. So Fokin Hoppy IPA, and apparently I'm now into IPAs.
Weird. Diddleman turned you, man.
I think I've been turned.
You.
I think I like more bitter things as I get older too. Isn't there a science that we lose our sweet taste buds as we get older? So that's why adults like bitter things.
I think that sounds plausible. I don't know the science behind it, but we'll check that out and get back to you. So if you're taking a test over this, you don't blame Monday Club for missing it. But that does sound right. I think that is correct.
I'm going to go with, I'm right.
You always go with, you're right on these questions. All right, man. Well, I missed lunch today. I was working in the office, as before mentioned, doing taxes. And so right before Monday Club started, I wanted to make sure that I ate, but also had my drink of choice. So, Pete Bois, this is a blender that I have with, I've got a little bit of yogurt, some peanut butter, some milk, ice, honey, and a whole crap ton of brandy just poured into this thing. And I am drinking a pitcher of both lunch and drink here.
Keep that, hold up. I got to get a nice picture of that for Instagram. Yeah, that's badass. That's a ninja blender too, huh?
Yeah, it is, buddy. Yeah, it is.
Is it good? Do you like it? Is it something you've had before?
I've never had it before. Here's my rule on doing smoothies. So for all you Monday Clubbers out there, here's how I try to do smoothies. I put in the amount of ingredients that I would be willing to eat out of a bowl. So like for the yogurt, I use maybe 2 scoops of yogurt, which is just enough that I was like, I would eat that if it were in a bowl and I was just eating yogurt with some honey in it. And so it's a kind of a double dose because I knew it was Monday Club, so it's a double dose of smoothie, and I just poured in enough brandy until I felt kind of embarrassed. And it's fine. It's totally alcoholic and fine, and hopefully feeds me as well.
Nice. That sounds delicious.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for listening to Monday Club. We love that you join us every Monday for our shenanigans, our hopefully funny stories and teachable moments and cool cheers of the weeks, and we really appreciate you coming in. Make sure you tell friends about the podcast. We want to grow the podcast. Give us a little love up on iTunes with a rating and review. That helps spread the word about what we're doing here. Sign up for our newsletter, mondayclubpodcast.com. If you want to buy us a drink via PayPal, you can totally do that. Tell us what you want us to drink and send us the money for that to mondayclubpodcast@gmail.com, and we will give you a shout out and try whatever you guys want us to try on air. And if you want to email us, if you have any questions about what we're doing, comments, concerns, things you want to bring up, we should do like a Q&A, like an AMA type thing one of these weeks. So we'll collect questions and answer them on air here. We're also on Twitter, Instagram, Monday Club Pod on Twitter, Instagram, Monday Club Podcast, posting a lot more pictures lately. And you can listen to us on Spotify and YouTube too. So you have no excuses to not join us in the clubhouse every Monday on Monday Club.
Yeah, I also want to say that we have been doing our giveaways over the last couple of episodes. We have one more of Nate Staniforth's Here is Real Magic book to give away. I've mailed out all of the others. So if you would like a copy of Nate's book and you don't have it yet, or you want a chance to read it, super easy. This week, all you have to do, go onto our Instagram, which is at Monday Club Podcast, and take a picture of you giving us a cheers. So take a beverage of your choice, give your picture a cheers, send it to or tag us on Instagram, and we will send you, be the first person to do that, I should say, and we will send you a copy of Nate Staniforth's book.
That sounds wonderful.
Yeah, I think so. So, dude, what have you been up to this last week? You got any just random stories?
Yeah, I've been on the road. I'll save some of that for stories from the road. But I have pretentious doggy daycare rant. If you remember from a few episodes ago, we brought our doggy daycare. Yes, we bring our dog to doggy daycare. And that may sound pretentious enough, but there is one step more pretentious. And I give you Muddy Paws Daycare, the daycare we were forced to go to because we didn't know of any others. And they were crazy. They were more expensive. They had, I don't know, they call it an academy. So each daycare, they have classes, and they like train the dogs during the class. And they have, what is the word? Matriculated. You know that word?
Yeah. Graduated.
It means you're like enrolled or whatever in college. They use that as a college term. They use all these college terms, and they had like an 8-page admissions questionnaire for your dog before you could get in. And
anytime any place adds academy instead of school or care, they've just put an extra 0 on the numbers that you have to do, which, since I'm doing my taxes, gets me all pissed off, Pete.
Well, join me in this rant, because our dog doesn't necessarily eat breakfast when we give it to him, and so we usually just package it up and bring it to his doggy daycare, and they give it to him around lunchtime, because we pay them to take care of our dog for a day. All we want him to go there, be safe, play with other dogs, be super tired when he gets home, and have a great time. And we know that he's having fun and not cooped up in the house or his crate all day. And so we started bringing his food to this super pretentious daycare, and last week, they sent a note home saying that if your dog requires us to feed him at lunchtime, there will be a $2 charge for feeding him at lunchtime.
Okay, stop. Okay, you're paying $1 bajillion to have your dog supervised at this daycare. Is that correct?
Correct.
But they don't feed the dog. You have to provide your own food for the dog. Is that correct?
They give him kibble as treats for the classes. For the classes.
But those are just like treats. Those aren't like, here's a meal.
Correct.
Okay. So you send a meal with the dog to be eaten at this academy. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And they want to charge you for the food that you're providing?
Technically they want to charge us for the arm movement of putting this food into a bowl and slipping it into his crate. That takes 2 seconds.
Wow.
Isn't that ridiculous?
That is ridiculous.
And then they went to say, if you bring a note from your vet that it is medically necessary that your dog eat lunch, we will waive the $2 fee. Right? And so we went to our vet and told them this, and they thought it was ridiculous, and they called the daycare and told them that he needed to be fed. So we got the $2 fee waived. But that's just besides the point. Talk about nickel and diming an already expensive venture and being like, how I don't know, how like highfalutin do you need to be to have the balls to charge
highfalutin as hell
$2 to give a dog food that we provide?
Dude, that's the other part of this that pisses me off. In some ways, and I'm not saying this is right in any way, shape, or form, but in some ways, I would almost rather just charge you a flat fee of $25. Because if they did that, at least you would be like, I mean, this is a pretentious school. Everything costs like an exorbitant amount of money. It's insane. But $2?
Yeah,
$2? You need our $2 to feed our dog?
Nickel and dime, right? And that's the thing too. Like if you're freaking charging a premium product, you expect premium service, not nickel and dime. This isn't Spirit Airlines, right? This is supposed to be freaking NetJets.
You're not flying FunJet. You're flying Delta with their diamond card.
They don't charge you for that glass of champagne when you get on, because you paid $1,000 for your ticket, right?
Right.
So
and how pissed do you think those Diamond Elite members of Delta would be if they charged them $2? which is less than you'd pay
peanuts.
for a real glass of champagne, but still it's $2 for no damn reason. Yeah.
Like, you have to trouble me to get out my credit card to pay you $2 for this freaking drink. All right, here's the other cherry on top. Another rule came with that note saying that you couldn't bring toys into daycare anymore. So when dogs go into their crates, sometimes they like something to comfort them. Our dog never went with a toy, but he always went with a Kong, which had a little treat in it. One of those little cone type things that are hollow in the middle you put treats in. And so I think that categorized as a toy, so we couldn't bring that in anymore. We couldn't even pay them $2 to bring a toy in. They just said no. So screw you. Today
what if you have your vet say that the toy is the dog's equivalent of a therapy dog on a plane? It's its therapy toy.
Ooh,
so that'd be
good.
A therapy toy for a therapy dog.
That's good. We should do that. But you know what? We don't even have to worry about it anymore, because today our dog was just accepted into another doggy daycare, a better doggy daycare that costs less, and they care about my dog more. They'll give him lunch for free that we provide during the day.
Well, what's the name of the academy that doesn't feed animals and takes away their therapy toy that we need to boo as a collective Monday Club audience?
Muddy Paws Academy in Scarborough, Maine.
All right, everybody on the count of 3, boo. 1, 2, 3.
Boo.
Boo.
I'm sure everyone
All right.
did. So.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
We put them on blast. All right,
that's
good.
my rant.
Good. Good job, Monday Club Arnie. Hey, so I had a super weird thing happen to me. It was only 2 days ago. I went to the Home Depot, and I was shopping around for some gardening supplies. I was doing some lawn care, and I'm pushing my cart down an aisle, but I'm on a side aisle, and I can see another cart coming out of my peripheral vision, and it doesn't look like it's stopping. So my automobile senses kicked in, so I stop. I'm like, well, this guy clearly isn't going to stop. He's going to keep going. And because I don't want to wreck carts with this guy. And this guy starts coming forward he started to slow down, but too late, and starts I don't know, it was weird. He just kept going, but was skittering, if that makes any sense. So I lock eyes with this guy, and I'm like, hey man, no, it's okay, go ahead. And he looks at me, and he has a weird look in his eye, and he's like, I'm sorry. And I was like, it's cool. And then he keeps pushing the cart, and I look down, and his feet all tangle up. And then his cart keeps going, but he falls flat on his face.
What?
Yeah. And so I'm looking, and I'm trying to... It all happened really, really fast. I'm like, what on earth is going on? And then me and this other dude that was near me, look at each other and he's not really getting up. So we go over and we grab him by the armpits and we lift him up. We're like, hey, buddy, are you all right? And he's like, okay. Like that. And we were like, oh, crap. This dude's having a stroke right here. That's what's happening.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So I hold the guy up and I was like, I don't know, man. Go get somebody from the store to help us out. And the guy was like, okay. So this other patron that helped me lift this guy up, took off running down to the counter to go get help and tell him what was going on. And meanwhile, I'm holding this guy up, and he's trying to turn and look at me, but it's not working. And I was like, hey man, just don't talk. Just stand right here, So I'm supporting him, and then an army of the Home Depot staff comes running out, and they put a chair down for him, and so I kind of set him into a chair, and then medical staff show up, and they had an ambulance on the way, and all kinds of stuff like that, and basically, I just got pushed out of the way. They were like, now it's on them to take care of this dude, and so I sort of backed up, and stood there for a minute, and looked around, and the other dude who had gone to get help, he had already bounced, and so I was like, hey guys, do y'all need me for anything? Is there anything else I can do? And they're like, no, we got it. I was like, you need my name or anything? They're like, nope. I'm like, okay. do you know where the trowels are? like I just that was it. But
later night,
man,
later that night on the news, like mystery man at the Home Depot parking lot saves man as he has a stroke and leaves. He's so he has so much humility he doesn't even want his name on the news.
Right. Yeah, it was a very surreal experience to be involved in that, and especially because I think I saw it from beginning to end, right? Like the guy was walking down the aisle, he was fine, started stroking out, and then just fell right in front of me. And it was so weird when we locked eyes, you could see that he was trying to figure out what was happening, but it just wasn't working. Anyway, yeah, that was my weird thing that happened to me this week.
That's crazy, man. Well, you saved somebody's life, so that deserves Monday Club. Raise your glass to Gus right now. If I'm ever stroking out, I want you by my side, sir. Cheers to you.
All right, man. Thanks.
Wow, dude, that's crazy. I've never been put in a situation where someone was about to die in front of me.
And who knows, man? I mean, I kind of. It sucks, right? Because I would really like to know as a human, I would like to know the follow-up on that. I would certainly like to know if there was anything I could have done that was better for the guy. But I couldn't let him fall down. And, it was a really surreal, interesting experience, man.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that happened to me. So I got to tell you, switching gears, another thing that happened to me that was super cool. I got a chance to hang out with our friend Mr. Brian Brushwood. We went and had lunch, and Brian was like, "Hey, man, have you ever heard of the Wizarding Academy?" I was like, "The Wizarding Academy? No." He's like, "All right, well, let's go take a tour." So we drive over to the Wizarding Academy. And Pete, I cannot wait for you to come and check this place out, dude. They have a wizard tower, like a legit wizard tower, where people do lectures of all different kinds, mostly on business. But then
I thought you were going to say magic. I was like,
no. Well, I mean, they do all kinds of different. Yeah. They do all kinds of different lectures. Brushwood has given lectures there before about building a tribe and online presence and stuff like that. But while you're in the lecture room, you're in a tower, and on the level above you is a library of all these amazing books that just wraps around, right? So you can go up the stairs to that level of the wizard tower and explore all the books that are up there. And one of those bookshelves is a secret passageway that leads you into a whiskey vault.
What?
That has hundreds of different whiskeys in it. And
for free?
So one of the people that runs the Wizarding Academy, shout out to Daniel, that dude decided that one of the business aspects that he could market for himself is putting together the first ever whiskey sommelier program. So you go into this whiskey vault and you learn all about whiskeys and how to taste the whiskey and tell what whiskey it is, where it was from, what's in it, and a little story behind the whiskey so that you can explain the enjoyment of that whiskey or pair it with something else. So he created this market, and the classes are selling out. So now high-end restaurants are looking specifically for somebody who's had this training or sending their bartenders, their high-end bartenders, to this class so that they can pair whiskeys with things. It's freaking brilliant. And,
wow.
And there's a secret room filled with whiskey. I can't stress that enough. It's a secret passageway into a whiskey vault. So we'll put a link to the Wizarding Academy on this show's notes. And I can't tell you how much fun that was. That
sounds incredible. Did you learn anything you would like to share about whiskey with Monday Club?
I did, actually. So I had a little bit of whiskey that was very smoky, like it had a smoky flavor to it.
Mm-hmm.
And in his tour of whiskeys, they talk about that smoke that you're tasting is literally the land that they're burning, right? So they light parts of the acreage on fire to get that smoky taste into their whiskey. And so depending on which region you're having, you can, if you know what you're looking for, you can taste literally the land of Ireland. You can taste what part of the land it's from based on the smokiness of and the taste of that smoke in your whiskey. So we were talking about it. I was like, man, I wish that my geography class in college had taught geography like that. Like, how badass would it be to just, I mean, you wouldn't have to give kids a whole lot of whiskey, but have a taste of this. Now, do you like that alcohol? Do you like how that tastes? Do you like all of these aspects of it? Cool. Here's why geographically it tastes like that. Either it's closer to the ocean, or it's on this kind of climate, or it's in this delta over here, or whatever. And literally you learn your way about, like, around the land through the taste of the whiskey that is literally taking in parts of their country.
Huh. So wait, they're burning the land, and how does that translate? How does that get in the whiskey?
So the smoky, they do that to smoke some, like, I'm going to use wrong terminology and be really embarrassed on this, but so they smoke like their like the grains that go into
I gotcha.
into the whiskey, and so that smoky flavor that you're tasting is like the grasses in the area being burned for to smoke the grains so that you get that smoky taste in your alcohol.
That's cool.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's so cool, dude. I want to go there. I want to go there right now.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to see you next month.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be a whirlwind day.
Oh, it's going to be crazy, but hopefully we'll get a chance to do that, and yeah, that'll be fun.
Nice.
This week in the news.
All right, this week in the news. You want to take it?
Yeah, sure. I'll take it. So this week in the news, Monday Club, the Masters tournament of golf, of PGA golf, is about to start, and there have been some controversies that have kicked off over this specific Masters tournament. One, Tiger Woods is coming back. He's getting his golf game back on track and is playing, so he's a huge draw to this tournament. But two, in the sport of golf, spectators are held to a different standard in their heckling and their attitudes as fans than any other professional sport. I mean, you talk about fans being just rowdy at hockey games and at basketball games and at football games. Baseball games are some of the worst, man. You'll have people who are literally heckling the pitchers and the catchers from sitting right behind them. But golf, everything is supposed to be very genteel. And so, over the last few years, there have been a whole lot of spectators that have upped the level of annoying that they can be on national TV. And so the Masters has just put a kibosh this year on all of these fans shouting things out during play so that they make it on national TV.
This sounds like Happy Gilmore.
Sort of, right?
Yeah.
And so there have been this big thing that came out just the other day where the security team at the Masters was given a list of words and phrases that people were no longer allowed to say at the tournament, or they get kicked out of the tournament. They get ejected from being a spectator there. Okay. Huh. And one of the things that made huge headlines was that the phrase "dilly dilly" was on this banned list. So if anyone yells out "dilly dilly," they are immediately ejected from the game as a spectator, which is, they lose thousands and thousands of dollars by being ejected from these games. And I think a lot of times they end up spending some time in jail for being ejected from these games.
Really?
So, yeah.
It's not like they're running onto the playing field and tackling Tiger Woods right before he putts. They're saying a word.
Dude, I know. I know.
A nonsensical word. That's ridiculous. And wait, where's Dilly Dilly come from?
Yeah, so that's a good place to start. So Dilly Dilly is it's the new catchphrase or tagline from Bud Light, from the beer company, okay? Yep. And so Dilly Dilly is basically a Cheers that they've introduced that's gotten a lot of publicity on both online and on media. And so I guess people were yelling Dilly Dilly out loud to distract players, and so
which sounds hilarious to me.
Which is hilarious, right? So the Masters went ahead and just outlawed it. It's a strict ban. You cannot say Dilly Dilly. But the story gets better, okay, Monday Club? So Bud Light today released their response to the Masters tournament.
I think we can call it a proclamation.
It is a proclamation because it starts off with "Hear ye, hear ye," and I'm going to go ahead and read this. Is that cool?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so this is on Bud Light's social media. Bud Light specifically is addressing. It says, "Our king weighs in on the Dilly Dilly ban at the Masters tournament." So here it goes. Read like it's from the King of Beers. Hear ye, hear ye. Your king hath received word that the guards of the Green Jacket plan to escort any patron who dare utter dilly dilly off yon premises. Except for myself, I am against tyranny in all forms. So I have instructed my royal tailors to make 1,000 dilly dilly shirts that shall be delivered to Georgia in time for the festivities. For if thou cannot say dilly dilly, then thou can still wear dilly dilly. Yours in friendship and beer, King John Barley the Sixth, King of Beers.
Oh, that deserves a Monday Club standing ovation to a beer I don't drink, but we still love you, Bud. That's incredible.
Oh my God, Bud Light, you are amazing. So yeah, Bud Light's response to this is, screw you. If people are going to get kicked out by saying our slogan, then we're going to send 1,000 free t-shirts with our slogan on it and just give them away so that, yeah, people are going to be wearing the Dilly Dilly shirt and not being able to say it as they would get kicked out of the Masters. I think that's beautiful.
That's even better because they could probably get Dilly Dilly on TV.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's a win-win situation for them.
Do they have dress codes? Do they need to wear a collar to be allowed into the Masters?
I don't think as a spectator you have to wear a certain. I'm sure there's a certain type of attire that they won't let you wear, but it's not as strict as the players are concerned. But still, I think this is a great example of there's no bad publicity because their slogan got what they could have done is gone to war over this, and instead they turned it into both a marketing and a goodwill campaign. Bud Light comes out of this looking like rock stars.
Oh yeah.
And the Masters looks like, yeah, we don't like people yelling things at our green grasses. Yeah.
Yeah, golf seems ridiculous after this. Just talking about pretentiousness again. This is our theme. pretentious dogs and golf.
Right.
Like, what the hell? Like, how stuck up and stuffy do you need to be to have a list of words you can't say during a sporting event? Like,
well,
wow.
And it's like their big argument is that it distracts the players from playing when people yell things out, and that all people are doing is yelling things out to get camera time or make their voice on air. And it's like part of me understands that you want golf to be like the king's game, right? Like I sort of get that idea, like you want to hold it to a higher standard. On the flip side of that, all other sports have t-shirt cannons and kiss cams. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no real, as a fan, paying thousands and thousands of dollars to be somewhere, short of interrupting the game physically, I see no problem with people yelling things out. Yeah. Unless, of course, it is hateful, right? Like or racially or physically threatening.
And you can't, probably swearing, since there are FCC rules that could be picked up. Okay, I can see that.
Right.
Okay, even though, yeah, but this is ridiculous. Dilly Dilly, like, it seems like it's a scene directly from Happy Gilmore.
Right. Well, Pete, funny that you mentioned that. I have a special challenge for you, sir.
You have a challenge for me?
I have a challenge for you.
All right.
Because I laughed so hard at this Dilly Dilly nonsense for this Masters tournament that I went down a rabbit hole looking for other ways that people have gotten kicked out of golf tournaments. And I found a giant quiz that I put together for you of funny things that have happened in golf as far as being a spectator sport. Okay?
All right. Nice.
All right.
That sounds great.
So here we go. These are all multiple choice. So let me read them, and then I'll give you the answers, and you tell me what you think, okay? Here we go. What Star Wars character famously makes a noisy appearance at PGA golf tournaments, causing displeased stares from the athletes and can earn you a possible ejection? Is it A, Darth Vader, B, Chewbacca, C, Jar Jar Binks, or D, the Ewoks?
All right. This is hilarious. So Darth Vader's kind of a quiet character.
Okay.
Chewbacca. No, I can't do a good Chewie. Jar Jar's annoying and loud. Ewoks are pretty. No, they have that call. It's like la 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 la. That's a good Ewok, I think.
That was a great Ewok.
But Ewoks, I think there are less little people that would show up to a golf game. So I'm going to go with a tall person. I'm going with Chewbacca.
Chewbacca is a correct answer, man. Good
yes!
job.
All right.
Yeah, so apparently people yell out Chewbacca all the time after golfers tee off. And then there's famously some guy that can do a super loud Chewbacca like that makes it on air all the time, and he has both been asked to never do it again, and I think he has been escorted off the course. So Chewbacca is a correct answer,
PGA,
man.
you're taking all the fun out of sports.
Right. So dude, you're one for a few. Here's your next one. What phrase, in connection with Howard Stern, frequently makes an annoying appearance at golf tournaments? Is it Baba Booey, Howie, Shazam, or Take Your Top Off?
In connection with Howard Stern, frequently makes an annoying appearance. I'm going to, so Baba Booey, he was like a guy who's some sort of co-host, right? Co-host.
Yeah.
Howie, Shazam. Baba Booey sounds like it might be because it's got that alliteration going for it. But I'm going to go with the sexual and Take Your Top Off.
Take Your Top Off is a great thing to yell if you want to get kicked out of the golf tournament. However, Baba Booey, for at least 3 years, people have been yelling Baba Booey after people have been putting or after they have teed off, getting many people ejected and earning people a lot of pissed off looks from and negative publicity on the old social medias. So Baba Booey is what we're looking for on that one. Though yell Take Your Top Off, you will also probably be ejected from a PGA game. All right, man, this is exciting. You're one for two. Here's your next one. Which of the following is a phrase that has not yet gotten someone ejected from a PGA golf game? You ready?
All right.
All right. So which one has not gotten someone ejected? Skittles, fried chicken, mashed potatoes, or hot dog?
I'm going purely on syllables. Skittles,
Okay.
That's easy to yell. Fried chicken, that's easy to yell. Hot dog, easy to yell. Mashed potatoes, that's a really difficult mashed. You get the ED there into the P, mashed potatoes. That's a difficult one. I'm going with C, mashed potatoes.
Oh, man, this is exciting. That is incorrect.
Oh!
Incorrect. Yeah. Here's a little fact. So the question is, which of the following phrase has not yet gotten someone ejected from the PGA game? Skittles, people yell that all the time as loud as they can. They get kicked out. Fried chicken was famously yelled at one of the players over and over again for some of his remarks that he made earlier and got those people kicked out. Mashed potatoes is something that people yell all the time on national TV after someone hits the golf ball and tees off. So mashed potatoes is it. Hot dog, someone has gotten kicked out from hot dog, but it's because they threw a hot dog at Tiger Woods on national TV, and they got tackled to the ground and drug out of there and spent the night in jail. So, though a hot dog was involved, they didn't yell hot dog when they threw it at him, so hot dog was the answer.
Nice. I never knew that. You got a hot dog. That'd be funny. He picks
golf
it up
would be so much more fun if it was a full contact sport like this.
Yeah, that's
all right, man.
That's pretty funny.
Well, here you can go. You can catch up and be 50-50 on this one. Okay.
All right.
In 2018, that's this year, Pete Bois. In 2018, Tiger Woods had a fan removed for yelling this famous Happy Gilmore phrase. Was it "Go home"? B, "Get in there"? C, "Get in the hole"? Or D, "Get some"?
Ooh. I'm torn because I remember the phrase. What was it? One of the guys, he was putting. He's like, "Don't you want to go in your home? Go in your home." And then also, I remember "Get in the hole," or was it "Get in your home"? I'm having a little confusion. But I'm going to go with the literal instead of the metaphorical. I'm going "Get in the hole."
Get in the hole is correct, man. Good job. Oh, this is so exciting. Yeah, Tiger Woods recently, he was in his backswing, and somebody said, "Get in the hole!" And it messed up his backswing, and so he had the guy ejected from the game. All right.
Here's the thing. Going back to the stupid PGA, I can see, because they're supposed to be quiet while they play, right?
While they swing.
That's
swing. Right.
I feel like game on when they're not swinging. You should be able to say anything when they're not swinging.
So I feel like that too, with the exception. No, I don't. I take that back. Screw you, golf people. You should be able to play in any kind, as long as they're not physically touching you. I think you should be able to play the game like a basketball player plays the goddamn game. It's like, do you know all the bull crap that people do when you're taking a free throw? They have whole sections where they pay people to like bang the little sticks together and like shake signs and flash them and all that stuff that they do, that people have lights flashing and all kinds of stuff to try to distract them from making a field goal. Look, that's what basketball players deal with. I think, I don't think you should have to be quiet while people are in their backswing. You're concentrating the same amount as any other athlete.
All right, you win.
All right, well, this is exciting because you're 2 for 4. This is your win or your defeat question, okay?
All right.
Here we go. The audio of a PGA tournament clearly catches and broadcasts this after Tiger Woods hits a shot. Tiger Woods, you suck, goddammit. Now, what was the result? A, the offender was taken to jail. B, the offender was ejected. C, the offender was booed. D, all of the above. Or E, none of the above.
Wow, you went with an E. That's tough. I think it's either all or nothing. I think he either went to jail or nothing happened. But is goddammit one of those words you cannot say on TV? Is that a dirty word?
I don't think so. I think it's still slid.
Huh. This is a tough one. God. I want to say, I'm going all. I think my answer is telling the PGA that they're real douchebags. Offender was taken to jail.
They were taken to jail. Okay, you're going with A.
Yeah.
Is that your final answer?
Should it be my final answer?
I don't know, man. Is it your final answer?
Maybe that's too much. If you could say "God damn it" on air and not,
so you're backing out.
As
okay,
FCC.
all right.
I'm gonna say I'm going with, you put an E in there for some reason, so I'm going with none of the above. E.
None of the above.
Yeah, I'm going complete reversal.
All right, we'll do a drum roll right here. Drum roll. It's E! You got it!
Yay!
You got it correct!
Whoa, I almost went down the wrong path.
It was kind of a trick question because the person who said, Tiger Woods, you suck, goddammit, was actually Tiger Woods after he hit the shot and missed it.
Oh, that changes everything. That's hilarious. So we know for a fact that Tiger Woods talks to himself in third person.
That's right. He literally said, Tiger Woods, you suck, goddammit. So, ladies and gentlemen, raise your glasses high to Mr. Pete Bois for winning the challenge. Well done, friend.
Thank you very much. That was awesome. Thanks for putting that together.
You're welcome.
Hey, it's time for Stories from the Road.
So I've been on the road. I was in Tennessee. I went out to do a show outside of Nashville. And after my show, I got some really good promotional advice. I want to run this by you guys, Monday Club.
All right.
They said I should do magic for drunk people, record it, and put their reactions on YouTube. And they said it would instantly go viral. What do you think? Yeah, yay or nay?
Totally.
Yeah?
Yeah, totally. In fact, one of the reasons why I think some of the best street magic footage is that gets put out there is with drunk people is because those are the people who are going to cry and run away when you do a magic trick, no matter how good it is.
Yeah. So all right. So okay, I should do that. I should travel to different cities and wait till like 1 or 2 in the morning when bars get out and just stand out there with a video camera, doing magic tricks for an hour. I bet I could get some great footage.
Yeah. I Monday Club dare you to do that. At least twice over this next season, get some footage of you performing at bars that you just randomly stop in and post them on YouTube.
All right, that's a good idea. All right, I've got my phone. I always got a camera with me. I can do this.
Yeah, you got one of the new fancy iPhone 10s or
I have
X's, right?
8. I almost went with the fancy one. Remember, I was reasonable and went with an 8.
Well, that was smart. They just didn't have it in stock when you wanted it. Is that right?
No, I was just cheap. But thanks for the out, man. I totally didn't take it.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So I was in Tennessee, and then I went down to Jacksonville, did a Summoning Spirits show down there. That was cool. Did some new material in Summoning Spirits where I actually die on stage. I said too much. You have to see the show.
What?
Yeah, it's crazy. And it went really well. I don't want to give away too much about the routine because for those of you who see the show one day, it'll be a cool surprise. But it was pretty sweet. And on my way back from Jacksonville, I was sitting in the airport, and I need some etiquette advice from you. This woman was asleep to my right in the airport. It was about 10 a.m., 9:30, 10, and she was snoring. It wasn't a crazy loud snore, but it was a very evident snore. And me and the guy sitting to my left looking at each other, and I said, "What do we do in this situation?" I asked him, "What's the etiquette here? Am I supposed to wake her up?" Because there's 3 things I should do, right? Leave her be. Right? But or wake her up, that could save her airport reputation. Like, she's going to be known as the airport snorer to everybody who's seen her that day. So I would be doing her a solid. But if I wake her up, that's kind of embarrassing. I'm like, excuse me, ma'am, I didn't want everyone to be embarrassed. I didn't want you to be embarrassed, but you were actually snoring. Leave her be.
Yeah.
She's embarrassed, but she doesn't know she's embarrassed because she doesn't realize what's going on. So ignorance is bliss. Or should I have recorded it and put it on YouTube for the world to have fun with?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm of the opinion that you totally leave everyone alone at the airport. You don't get involved in anyone else's story in any way, shape, or form. So, also, I know that I've been the guy who was just so tired that I've just curled up in a ball and gone to sleep, and I'm sure that I've snored at airports. And seriously, in those situations, leave me alone. I'm getting my only 15 minutes of sleep that I could. Now, the only time, it has nothing to do with embarrassment, but the only time that I think it's appropriate to wake somebody up is if they're asleep at the gate and they're announcing that the flight is boarding and that person hasn't woken up. I think airport etiquette kicks in where you tap them on the shoulder and say, "Hey, I'm sorry for waking you up. Are you on this flight to Baltimore or wherever?" And if they're like, "No," then, all right, sorry to wake you up, just didn't want you to miss your flight. But twice I've had that happen where I've woken somebody up and been like, "Hey, are you on a flight to Dallas? And they're like, huh? Yeah, going to Dallas. I was like, okay, because they're on the C group, and I thought maybe you'd want to get on the plane. Oh, crap, thanks, man.
That's a good call. That is a good call.
But yeah, look, people snore, people fart, people have to go to the bathroom. Like, all these things are real. There's no reason to shame anybody for doing that, as long as they're not actually hurting somebody. So yeah, that's my opinion.
All right, here's the thing, Monday Club. If you see me snoring asleep at a gate in the airport, this is what I want you to do. I want you to record it, and I want you to put it on YouTube, and I want it to go viral as long as you put my website on there.
You just want it to be a commercial, no matter what.
Yeah, just put,
I gotcha.
Or you can put my YouTube channel. Just link it in the show notes. I will be happy with whatever bad or good press I get, as long as you put a way for them to get in touch with me.
So I had a weird thing happen to me this past week. I did a rare magic show, but I got a magic show that was from a promoter that I don't usually work with. And so they called, and all the information that they gave me was that it was out at this country club. I was like, okay, I can work country clubs. So I get ready to do it. It's Easter weekend, so I'm wearing my nicest of my performing clothes. It's for a country club, so I'm figuring this is going to be some highbrow corporate magic show. And I get out to the country club, and I call my contact out there, and he's like, oh, yeah, no, we're not actually out at the country club. We're about 6 miles down the road at the balloon festival.
Oh.
I'm like, okay. So
at
I
least
go
he
to
didn't
the
say
balloon
60 miles down
yeah,
the
right,
road.
Right, exactly. So I go to the balloon festival, and it's a hot air balloon festival, but it's happening on the windiest day of the year so far. I mean, the winds were blowing. I think it gusted up to 40 miles an hour that day.
Damn.
So there's no balloons at this balloon festival, and it's all outdoors. So I'm on one of those portable outdoor stages. Now, it's a nice outdoor stage. It's got trussing and lighting and all of that stuff. But it is definitely an outdoor stage. And so I get out of my car. I'm in my 3-piece suit. I have all of my my stand-up stage show with me. And I get up to the stage, and there is a sound manager, a stage manager, and roadies. So the roadies come over and move my magic props for me over to the side of the stage, which is something that is really weird for me when other people touch my props. So I'm like, okay. And the sound manager comes in and puts an earpiece lav on me that they already have in for their house system. And I was like, okay, that's cool. But then they're like, oh, it's so windy that we have to tape the lav to your mouth so that it is right up on your mouth. Otherwise, we get feedback. I was like, all right, we can do that. So she goes over. Oh, I should also say that while they're moving all of my stuff and I'm getting wired up for sound, I read the program, and there's also a band doing sound check. It's all country music artists that are on this stage, with the headliner being Jack Ingram, who's a country music guy. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like I should know who this guy is.
I've heard of Jack Ingram, but I guarantee you, there's not a Jack Ingram song on my iPod.
Okay.
So anyway, I'm like, oh, okay, so I'm opening up for a bunch of country and music artists. They're like, yeah. Okay. So they go, and she goes and tries to find some skin tape for me to tape the microphone onto my cheek so that it's right up against my mouth. And I go with her to her case, and she opens it up. Well, all they work is country music festivals. So they have... The color skin tape choices they have are pink, white, extra white, bright white. Those are the only color choices that they have. And she looks up at me and she's like, we don't have any tape that matches your pig tone. Your pig tone.
Oh, no.
And so I hear her say your pig tone, and I start laughing. I just, which makes her all that much more uncomfortable. And so she ends up using pink tape. It's pink tape all up and down my mouth and my cheek. So I look like I have a Joker scar on my right side of this pink tape that just goes all the way up my face to my ear.
Oh, man.
So that's how I start my show, is I start my show with a giant pink tape, little swatches all up and down my cheek to do a crowd that is there to see country music for a balloon festival with no balloons. And I get out there, and it's all just these drunken country and western fans. And I get out there, and I'm like, all right, who's ready to see some magic? And this drunk lady in the front of the audience is like, boo!
What?
Like, all right.
That was an enthusiastic boo, though. That was.
It was a very loud, enthusiastic.
What if she meant to go yay, but it came out boo?
Maybe, but I'll tell you what. If I was at the Masters, I would still have her ass kicked out.
Oh man, I can't believe they didn't have clear tape.
No, they didn't have any clear tape. They only had pink, white, neon white, and country star.
But white doesn't even match. I mean, I am Caucasian skin tone. White wouldn't match me. You need like flesh tone.
I'm just saying that's what they had. and her uncomfortableness with trying to say pigment and then backing off it and then trying to say skin tone and being like, you're pig tone. Just made me freaking die laughing.
We just have a show title. Awkward but innocent racial moments, maybe. Oh man, that's hilarious, man. So did people actually watch? How'd it go?
Yeah, I had a pretty decent crowd, and it was a festival, so there was a lot of kids that showed up. So I ended up switching gears and changing it from being more of an adult show to a sort of a family show, and I think it worked out well. I attracted enough people that I felt like my time wasn't wasted there. But it was definitely one of those things where I'd finish a trick, I'd do it, I'd look out in the crowd, and I'd be like, all right, now it's your turn to clap. And then everyone would be like, oh, yay, that was good. And then I'd do something else. Okay, again, that's your cue where you go, yay.
Now,
they weren't there to see magic.
Did you point out the weird Joker smile on the side of your face, or did you just ignore it?
I totally ignored it because I felt like if I was awkward about it, then that's all people would see. So I just left it alone.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I used to probably acknowledge those awkward things that happen occasionally. Now I just kind of like plow through with robust confidence, and it seems to be better.
Yeah. The whole show for me was just an epic show, man. Like because it was blowing so hard, my props were blowing off of my table. My actual table once just started moving by itself because the wind was blowing it. So I made a joke out of it like I was doing it, but really I was like, please table, don't roll off the stage. And the way, because it was designed for a big rock concert or a big country music concert, it was the stage, lights, monitors, a big empty pit for security, another empty space before the crowd tables were. So I was probably 20 yards from the nearest table, from the front of the table. I was just so far away from the audience that it was hard to connect anyway. And then when I tried to get people on stage, they had to run around the enclosement, past security, up a ramp, and then be escorted up the stairs onto the stage. So when I got somebody to help, it was a 45-second process for them to make their way onto the stage, which just to do a card trick is pretty rough.
That sucks. Turned your 30-minute set into 45 minutes.
That's exactly right, buddy.
Or you just cut out some tricks and get off work early.
Oh yeah, I definitely that was a check collector right there. But yeah, that was my fun story from the road.
Teachable moments. I have a money-saving teachable moment for you guys today.
Hit us.
So I was doing a mailing to potential clients to try to drum up some business, and I got the idea from a friend of mine. He said, look, why don't you send a promotional pen with this? And it's in an envelope, so there would be a pen bump in the envelope. And I asked him, could it still be mailed as a flat? And he's like, yeah, the bumps don't matter. Bumps don't matter. Can you hear me, Mike? Bumps don't matter. I sign up for stamps.com because I figure I'm going to be doing some more physical mailings, and I measure it. I weigh the package with the pen in there, and it gives me $1.42 for a flat envelope, right? That's what I call it. And I bring all this mailing to drop it off at the post office, and the guy goes over it, and he's like, "This is actually a parcel because there's a bump." And I'm like, "What? Mike told me bumps don't matter. Bumps don't matter." And so bumps matter, people. So he said up to 3/4 of an inch thick, but it has to be uniform. The entire package has to be 3/4 of an inch. You can't have something separate because when they're running it through the machine, it could get stuck on that bump. It has to be run as a parcel to go through the parcel machines. And guess how much more a parcel costs?
Another $1?
$2.08.
Oh, no!
Yeah, so here's the thing. He said, look, I'll run through the parcel here, but I can't guarantee they won't either charge your account or send them back. And I said, all right, we'll give it a shot. And so he ran it. He just took them and he ran it through. And I know a bunch of people have received their mailings, but I did get one return today saying it was a parcel, and I went back to the post office and sent it out. So this is me crossing my fingers that I don't get any more sent back to me for another $2.08 postage. And always remember, Monday Club, the bumps matter.
The bumps always matter. The bumps always matter. Oh, that is very helpful, Pete. Well, thanks for screwing that up so the rest of us don't have to. Here's mine, my teachable moment. Write down your ideas, people. I have just started just giving myself permission to stop whatever I'm doing and take the 10 seconds that it takes to write down ideas that I have, be it what books I want to read, if I come up with an idea for a promotional activity, if I'm trying to be brainstorming about a new show or a new trick that I'm trying to work on, whatever it is, if I'm driving in the car or I'm walking around, I've just decided that it is okay for me to stop what I'm doing, open up my phone, open up notes, and just write down these ideas. And here's the thing. The longer I've been doing this, the more I've realized that sometimes some of these just weird ideas that pop into your head or jokes that pop into your head aren't funny then, but later on you'll come back to it and reread your notes and think to yourself, oh man, that would actually work well with, and then attach it to a different idea that you have. So write down your ideas. One of your ideas could be $1 billion idea. You just never knew it because you forgot about it as soon as you didn't write it down. So write them down.
Thank you guys so much for being part of the club. Club time is over. Thank you for making your Monday cool again with us. And so time to leave the clubhouse and go back to your drab Monday.
Thanks for listening, guys. See you next week.
Oh, thank you guys so much for being part of Monday Club. Check us out, MondayClubPodcast.com, on Facebook, /Monday Club Podcast, Twitter, Monday Club Pod, Instagram, @Monday Club Podcast. Email us questions, comments, concerns. We're collecting questions for an Ask Us Anything or buy us a drink. PayPal us at MondayClubPodcast@gmail.com. Thank you to James Caldwell, our sound engineer, and Zach Holder for our music. We love you. Be merry on this magnificent Monday.